My name is Emily Thompson, and the story I'm about to tell you is as real as the chill I still feel when I think about it. It happened last year, during a particularly stormy winter. My partner, Sam, and I had just moved into a charming little cabin in a secluded area known as Whispering Pines. We were looking for a quiet place to escape the chaos of city life, a cozy retreat where we could enjoy nature and peace. We had no idea that the peace we sought would soon turn into a nightmare. The cabin was quaint and picturesque, nestled among tall pines and overlooking a small, frozen lake. It had been on the market for a while, and we managed to get it at a great price. The realtor mentioned that the previous owners had left suddenly, but we thought nothing of it. The place felt perfect for us. A romantic getaway with a rustic feel, complete with a stone fireplace and large windows that let in plenty of natural light. The first few days were magical. We spent our time exploring the woods, ice skating on the lake, and enjoying quiet evenings by the fire. But as the weather grew colder and the snow piled up, something changed. It started with small things: a door creaking open on its own, lights flickering, and cold drafts that seemed to come from nowhere. We laughed it off as quirks of the old cabin, but deep down I felt uneasy. One night, as we were sitting by the fire, we heard a faint tapping sound coming from the back of the cabin. It was rhythmic, almost like a soft knock. Sam went to check, but found nothing. The sound continued sporadically over the next few nights, always around the same time. It was unsettling, but we tried to ignore it. Things escalated when I started hearing whispers. They were faint, like someone speaking from far away, just barely audible. At first, I thought it was the wind playing tricks on me, but the whispers had a distinct, eerie quality to them. They seemed to come from the walls, filling the room with an unearthly presence. I couldn't make out any words, but the tone was unmistakably mournful. One evening, Sam went into town to pick up supplies, leaving me alone in the cabin. It was snowing heavily, and the world outside was eerily quiet. As I sat by the fire, trying to read, the whispers grew louder. I felt a sudden chill and looked up to see my breath in the air. The temperature had dropped dramatically, and the fire seemed unable to warm the room. I heard footsteps upstairs. They were slow, deliberate, and unmistakably human. My heart raced as I realized I was alone. I grabbed the nearest object, a fireplace poker, and cautiously made my way upstairs. The footsteps stopped as I reached the top of the stairs, and I stood there, listening to the deafening silence. Every room was empty, but the air felt thick, almost oppressive. I quickly went back downstairs, trying to shake off the feeling of being watched. When Sam returned, I told him what happened. He tried to reassure me, saying it was probably just the old pipes or the house settling. But that night, we both heard the footsteps. We lay in bed, holding our breaths, as the sound moved down the hallway, stopping just outside our door. The door handle rattled, as if someone was trying to open it. Sam jumped up and flung the door open, but there was nothing there. Over the next few days, the activity intensified. Doors would slam shut on their own, objects would move inexplicably, and the whispers became a constant, haunting presence. We reached out to the realtor, desperate for answers. She was hesitant, but eventually admitted that the cabin had a history. The previous owners had experienced similar disturbances and left in a hurry, refusing to elaborate on what had happened. Desperate for help, we contacted a local paranormal investigator. When he arrived, he immediately felt the heavy atmosphere in the cabin. He set up equipment, cameras, audio recorders, and temperature sensors, and began his investigation. As he conducted his work, we all felt an overwhelming sense of unease, as if we were not alone. During the investigation, we heard the footsteps again, this time accompanied by a faint, sorrowful wailing. The investigator picked up a cold spot near the fireplace and captured strange anomalies on camera. Flickering lights and shadowy figures that appeared and disappeared in the blink of an eye. He told us that the cabin was likely haunted by a spirit, possibly someone who had lived there long ago and never left. He performed a cleansing ritual, attempting to communicate with the spirit and help it move on. As he did, the whispers grew louder, almost frantic. The temperature dropped further, and the lights flickered violently. For a moment, it felt like the cabin was alive, reacting to the ritual. Then, as suddenly as it started, everything went quiet. The air felt lighter, and the oppressive feeling lifted. The investigator told us that he believed the spirit had found peace, but he couldn't guarantee it wouldn't return. We stayed in the cabin for a few more days, and while the disturbances stopped, the memory of them lingered. We decided to move out and sold the cabin shortly after. It was too much, the constant feeling of unease, the fear of the unknown. Looking back, I still don't know what exactly happened at Whispering Pines, but I know it was real, and it left a mark on both Sam and me. We experienced something beyond explanation, a brush with the paranormal that I will never forget. The cabin still stands, and sometimes I wonder if the new owners have had any encounters. I hope they never have to go through what we did, living in a place where the past refused to stay silent.